Hi, my name's Stuart, and this is a video about, well, it's about just a kind of a concept. It's someone else's concept. I'm gonna go ahead and say who they are now, and recommend that you actually go listen to what they have to say. And before I tell you who they are, I'm actually going to make a statement to try to help you to listen to them, because otherwise a lot of people hear about it and go, no, I don't need that. No, man, I'm good. I don't need that. And shut themselves off from information that could help them because of their ego. And that is, ego is something that, it's an idea, a belief about who I am and why I have value and why I'm good. And to accept information that would contradict a person's ego threatens their value, because people have egos that make them feel good. They have ideas and beliefs about themselves that add value, generally, unless they're depressed, in which they have ideas and values about themselves that make them feel bad. But typically, these thoughts make them feel good. And they will tend to reject anything that threatens those ideas about themselves. And in so doing, they will turn off entire sections of knowledge, entire bodies of knowledge in reality, and ignore it, to their own detriment, I think. Although, having said that, ego can be a powerful driving force for good, but it can also make a person very stupid and narrow-minded. So, now that I've said that, this is a powerful male ego that I'm going to confront here, and that ego is that I'm God's gift to women. And the reality is, are you dating like 3 or 4 supermodels right now? I'm not. So I've let go of that ego. Just because Susie, liked you, 3 years ago and you got her, even though she was coming on to you constantly and you were just so dense you didn't get it, and eventually you're like, okay, let's go out, Susie. After you had a long discussion with somebody that you knew about, does she like me? Just get over it. So anyway, this is a talk about pickup artistry, I guess. The guy that I heard this from is brilliant, and listening to him really dramatically changed my life from a self-improvement point of view. And one of the most kind of brilliant kind of philosopher, kind of psychologist kind of, he's not a philosopher or a psychologist, but he has a lot of those two traits combined to where he just has just a lot of brilliant insights. I don't know of anyone except maybe Tony Robbins that really comes close to this guy. And so anyway, his name is Owen Cook, and you can go into YouTube and actually search for Tyler RSD and Real Social Dynamics, and he has tons of videos. Most of them are about pickup artistry, but a lot of them are about self-improvement and just being a better person. And that is kind of what pickup artistry is it dangles this bait of hot girls, and to get the hot girls you have to become a better person. You have to become cool, right? Essentially. So it's a trick, bait and switch. But anyway, so one of his concepts was the idea that there are things that we want in life, and then there's the pain that we have, the fear that we have of what will happen if we don't accomplish them. And for most people, for really accomplishing things in their life, that fear greatly outweighs the pleasure they believe they'll receive from accomplishing it, because they don't actually believe they'll accomplish it, right? There's this thing that they want, and then there's this pain from risk of failure, right? And for most people, they're fairly confident they're going to fail, so he calls it the emotional seesaw, I think, where that fear is heavier, and they don't move forward towards what they want. And the way around this, I think that there's a period in people's lives where studying self-improvement and learning kind of about self-observation and meditation and that sort of thing, a person can get a lot of traction out of that, out of just learning about themselves and changing the way that they think. But there comes a point to where there are certain things that you can tell yourself all day long, but until you experience them as being true, you won't really believe them. You know, like, I'm a good person and by golly, people like me. You know, you can tell yourself that all day long. But until you go out and have an experience where people react well to you, or until you learn the skills and to be able to talk to people so that they'll react well to you, you're really not really going to believe it until you experience it. Direct experience from taking action is the most powerful way to learn, in my opinion. Although I do, granted that for me there was a period of I think 2 or 3 years where really all I really did was study self-improvement without really doing anything other than just changing my own thoughts, and that was invaluable. But beyond that, there's a point where there's really diminishing returns on that, and a person has to go out and take action. And the way this works in Tyler's, or Owen's, Tyler is his alias, but Tyler's seesaw is that in order for a person to really go after the thing that they want, they have to believe they can get it. Because if they believe that they can get it, then that pleasure and enjoyment starts to overcome the fear. And then they can go and get it. Because really, I don't believe that I can really do a startup company. I don't believe that I can create a startup company and sell it for millions of dollars in 5 years. I don't believe that. Probably not. But I do believe that in the next 2 years, I could create a company that would generate $100,000 in profit a year. I do believe that. And the reason I believe that is because I have past experience of creating a company that generated about $30,000 a year. And because I have experience buying and selling things on eBay, and I know that it's scalable. And because I've had smaller successes in the past, I know that I can have bigger successes in the future. I can't jump to ridiculous successes because I don't believe that I have the skill set to do that, at least not yet. So for me, a realistic goal is start a company that in 2 years can make $100,000 a year. That's something that on this scale, the balance is tipped to where I really think I can do it, and I'll do it. Whereas start a business now that you'll sell for $100 million in 5 years is kind of, I'm not going to have the motivation to even start doing that because I don't think I can, and I'm too afraid of failure. But if I start a company that makes $100,000 in 2 years, then I can start a company that'll make, $1 million in 2 years. And after that, I don't know, maybe it's just a matter of scaling up to 100,000 after that. And so maybe in, 2 or 3 kind of iterations of this entrepreneurial activity, I will have the, maybe more, probably more, I will have the confidence to actually go for a goal like that because I'll actually believe that I can accomplish it. So, anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Hope that helps.